Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 235, Lamar, Lowlifes. Not us.
Well,
That's the name of the movie.
that's the name. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Interestingly enough, Joe, we're back on Tubi.
Yep, we were lured back in.
Somebody suggested this movie, which was also on Tubi. We were a little apprehensive.
Let's get right into it, Lamar. I'm hungry and I have to go. So, first category, what do we think of the story?
Joe, we have, a good old family. They're in an RV. You have your kind of weird son, your very uppity mother, and then you have your distant daughter. Unbeknownst to everybody else, though, they're cannibals. And I guess their plan for family, outings is to go into the countryside and just eat people. And then they run into this family where, they gotta, do some maneuvering and stuff like that to get their fill.
And the way they set it up was you thought the family were like the crazed people that were luring, strangers, travelers in. And then they did the flip.
They did the flip.
That was good. That was good.
When you reveal it and stuff like that, a lot of people might be like, oh, you revealed the twist too much. But there's more to their family structure and how they interact with each other and stuff like that. That's also interesting to me.
Yeah. I thought they did the flip at the right time because it started off and at first I was like, oh, this is going to be the standard thing where they lure the people in. Except for you did always get that feel like the family just seems odd. And then when they did the flip, it was kind of like, oh, okay, cool. I'm with you. So I like this story. I'm giving it 1 point.
Agreed. 1 point.
Yeah. Well, our next category, of course, Lamar, is what do we think of all these characters?
Well, this is a family of cannibals. And they are leave it to beaver. They just eat people. But there's a lot of things going on between them. I think I like the son because he's weird. And this is going to sound strange for being in a family of cannibals. Yeah. He's just learning how to be a cannibal.
But then when he actually does some cannibal activity, it's almost like when you get in trouble and your dad's kind of proud of you, but he doesn't want to show mom.
I did like that part.
That was a good part.
But I'm going to spoil, it was almost they told him not to do something, but like you said, he proved himself, and the dad was like, don't ever do that again.
Right.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
That was a great part. And then the daughter was rebellious, but then she was still on board with everything they were doing. She was a lesbian, and then which triggers the dad in a weird way, almost unhinges their whole plan. Not sure exactly what was going on with the mom. Was it anxiety that she didn't want to do it anymore?
I think it was one of those things. And she's kind of the typical mom that's she puts on a front that she's the normal mom, but she suppresses all of her emotions down to make everybody feel comfortable. Yeah. And so that's what she came off as. So that, she has to take those pills to come down off of really hiding how she really feels about stuff.
Yeah. So what do you rate in characters?
I gotta give it a 1, Joe.
I agree. 1 point. These were good characters.
Yes.
And we didn't really talk about the other family. They were so normal, I guess, which that was the point.
Yes, that
they have
basically.
To fight back. Well, our next category is how do we rate the kills?
Well, Joe, they're like a hunter group and stuff like that. And what's interesting is they're not going to come out with the machine gun and stuff like that to shoot people because that's going to taint the meat. You know, they got to do things, secretly. So they're more deceptive with what they do. They even use candy as something, which that caught me off guard because I was like, why does he have that? But anyway. Not gonna tell you about it, but it's almost they all have their little weapons that they use and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool to me. I like the kill.
Yeah, that was cool. It was a creative way of doing it so that they weren't just maniacs with no sense to it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 1 point for kills. Yeah.
Giving it a 1, Joe. This is interesting for us.
It is interesting. Our next category is very interesting. It's what do we think of the special effects?
All practical.
Yes.
Or did I miss anything?
I don't think you did. No, I think it was all practical.
We got some practical kills. We got some impalings, people missing eyes. We
Hmm.
got some dismemberment. All practical. And
Yep,
we like practical. We don't
we
like
do.
that digital crap.
No.
Is yeah.
No, they went for it, and it wasn't like super gory because I heard people online saying it was super gory, but maybe we're just desensitized at this
What,
point.
this was super
I
gory?
heard people saying it was super gory, but we also watched like unearthed films and all that too. So,
Bro,
we,
we watched Terrifier.
yeah, we could be just desensitized, but I didn't find it super gory, but I did like all the practical effects,
Agreed.
so I give it 1 point.
Another one for me, Joe.
Well, our last category, Lamar, is sequel potential.
It does leave off on a potential, sequel. I want to see what they do next as cannibals. Like,
Yeah.
well, the next entry, what they will do,
You
how
know
they're
what
going to
I
lure
think?
people. Well, you think, Joe?
I think it's going to go back in time. Now, this actually makes sense. If you hear me out, Lamar, it will make sense. Because I was wondering in my mind while watching this movie, like, how did these people get into
Okay.
cannibalism? Like, is it like a cult thing? Were they raised this way? How did you find another woman and marry a cannibal woman like that's on board? I think that the next film should go back in time and we should find out like maybe there's just a history of cannibalism here.
It's a prequel, so it's not going back in time. It's
No, no.
explaining
Someone
things.
has to go back in time to find the original cannibals.
You're just saying stuff now. Good Lord. I'm not even gonna lie. I would watch a prequel to this.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to find like what the backstory is to the family and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what
Yes.
are you giving it for sequel potential then, Lamar?
I'm giving it a 1, man.
I agree. And you know what that means, Lamar? That this movie gets a perfect 5 out of 5.
For a Tubi movie.
Yeah, amazing.
A Tubi movie.
I saw an article on somewhere today saying that Tubi now has a better selection than Netflix.
Ooh, oh, that's fighting words.
Well, this is better than a lot of the crap that I see on Netflix.
It's better than a lot of the Netflix movies. I
That's what
do
I'm
like the
talking
Netflix
about. Yeah.
shows, but the movies, yeah, Netflix movies aren't.
It's more interesting, more creative.
Tubi, or have you know what they did? They watched our reviews and they said, you know what? Perfect Turd Podcast has some good points. We need to change up our style, or at least buy better movies.
Yeah. Well, does that wrap it up, Lamar?
Shockingly, it does.
Yeah. We might have to keep watching Tubi movies.
Keep it up,
Peace.
Tubi. Yes, deuces. Don't do it. You're not trained in cannibalism yet. You're
Oh,
not supposed. Yeah.
damn it.